Hello! How is everybody today? Well, you know what? I can't actually hear you respond, so I'm going to assume you're doing well. Thank you for purchasing this video. This is the piano tutorial for Billy Joel's classic from the River of Dreams album, 2,000 Years. Definitely one of my very favorite songs from that album and from the later part of his career. Great tune. We're going to be doing it in the key of F, which is where it was recorded. That's what this tutorial's in. For those of you who have watched my YouTube channel and saw my music video that I did on the song, you're going to say, but Steve, you play it in D. Or some of you might not say that, but it's true. I do play it in D when I am performing it because I simply do not have as high a voice as Billy Joel did in his prime. Billy Joel, shortly after he recorded it, no longer had that high of a voice either, and has never performed it, to my knowledge, in the key of F. But it is where it was recorded, and a lot of people buy these tutorials so they can play along with their recordings, and so that's why we're going to do it there. You can use your transposition key if you're playing on a keyboard, and if you're playing on a piano, you know, if demand is great enough, at some point maybe I can put a supplement out and teach it to you in D or whatever, but we'll see. Most people are playing on keyboards these days and they can just do it in F and just lower it a little bit if they can't sing that high, or if you can sing that high, hey, more power to you. I envy you. So let's talk a little bit about what this song is. We're going to be wanting to teach you the little it's not really an intro, I guess, as far as the song actually just kind of starts, the studio recording starts with him just sort of saying, you know, in the beginning, it just kind of starts. But I'd say most people who want to play this song as a piano vocal are going to want to start with the little interlude thing, and it goes like this. Excuse me. So that's the part we're going to learn first. The good news about this song is it is very repetitive. Getting a little bit more volume here for you. Might be a hair much. So anyway, it's a very repetitive song where basically we're going to learn that, then we're going to learn how the verses go, and then you just repeat it 3 times. So it's not that complicated. There's just a few sections that you need to learn and you'll be on your way and enjoying playing this song. So what I need you to do, we're going to learn this kind of handy-dandy little instrumental interlude that I just played a couple of times through. I need you to find middle C, which is here. Need you to go an octave above that. Now I need you to find an F above that, which is right here. Stick your thumb there and put your pinky on a C. Okay, that's where your right hand is going to start this whole situation. Now we're going to look at the left hand. We are on an A, which is, you want to be in octave A's. It's the A below middle C. So here's middle C. And then the octave below that. The left hand, here's the pattern that it follows. A, B flat, D, C, A, B flat, C. Actually, it's just A, B flat, D, C, A, B flat, D, C again, A, B flat, D, C, A, B flat, C, F. Okay, so your pattern is A, B flat, D, C, and you play that through 3 times. And then the last time, on the 4th time through, it is A, B flat, C, and it's actually C, C, F. Okay? So that's where we're going. And it's, if you count it out, 1, 2, 3, 4, or if you want to do it in cut time, it's probably more like that. It's probably 1, 2, 1, 2. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So you're basically on these half notes. 1, or it's at, yeah, exactly. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's actually, you feel it in 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So, at a little bit slower pace here. A, 2, 3, B flat, 5, 6, D, 2, 3, C, 5, 6, A, 3, A, B flat, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay? That's what the left hand is doing. The right hand is going to be doing this little thing. Okay, so how do we do that? So we've got our thumb and our pinky up here on this F and C like we talked about. You play them together. The next note, you come down with your index finger here on a G. See how that works? Oh, and by the way, I have to give my standard disclaimer here. I'm going to make some goofs and some errors as we go along. Part of it's, the biggest part of it's because I'm not perfect. The other part of it is that I work really, really hard to keep my fingers away from the keys that are not playing, because if I put my hands down the way I normally play, like this, and just go, now I play it right, but it's kind of hard for you to see what note I'm playing because all my fingers are just there. But so what I try to do is keep everything out of the way and make sure that you get a real good visual of what is being pressed down. Problem that comes with that is it's difficult to play effectively sometimes like this. And so I'll hit a wrong note. When I do, I'll just own up to it and say, I botched, ignore that, forgive me, etc., and we'll move on. So I think at the end of the day, you're better served by being able to see the notes than to have me play perfectly every single time. So that's just my philosophy, but I do apologize in advance for probably making some mistakes and having to put my tail between my legs and say, oh, I made another mistake. So anyway, that's just something I say in all my videos. So anyway, you start here, you're on C and F, or F and C rather. And then your index finger comes down on G, so. The next part is that your pinky and your third finger come down together on A and C right here. Okay? Now, if you want to, you can ornament it and kind of make this G a little, play another G as a little pickup note. Okay? The next part, you just come back down with C and F here again. So you were here before. Real slow. And all of that is being done on an A bass like this. Okay, next part, you shift your hand down here. I like to put my index finger on C and my pinky on F. Okay, and it goes C, D, F. Okay. What does that sound like when you play it from that beginning of that line all the way through? Okay, so C, C, D, F, C, C, D, F. Okay, really slow. How does the left hand fit into this whole equation? So you play your C, and then when you come in on the second C, you come down on the B flat in your left hand. Okay, one more time, just so you get the picture. Okay, now we carry on with another. Okay, now what happens down here is that that's where we go to the D. Okay, one more time through, kind of slow. Okay. Okay. And at full speed. we're going to add one more little thing to that. Okay, instead of just, when you come off of that, you're going to carry that line out from F back to C. So, okay, watch this. I'm going to play it slow. One more time. Excuse me, I played a tritone there. Ah! Okay. One more time. Ah, sorry, I botched it there. Okay. Okay, just once more. Okay, now we're going to shift our hand again. We're here. We're going to move down to this position where our thumb is on F and our pinky fingers on C. The first thing you're going to play is a G and a C together like this with your index and your pinky. Okay? And then you move to a C and an A together like this with your third finger, your middle finger and your pinky. Now if you want to, you can do it like this, where you just kind of keep that C down and just kind of do the movement down here, so it could be like this. Or you can actually go. It really is up to you. I tend to probably do this more. Okay? The next one, you play these two notes again together, except I like to do a little pickup from the G, like this. In slow motion, a pickup looks like. So you hit this note. Okay, so let me show you that whole section here. And then back to this. So it's this twice, then back to this. G and C to A and C again to G and C. And it's like so. Okay, we were here. Okay, let me play that slower. Okay. Where's the left hand in all of this? Okay, we were here. Okay, so see where we're at. We were here. One more time, even slower. back here. So again, the A and the C to the C and the G to the F and the C. Okay, let me get that far from the whole line here. Okay, and when we come down on the F and the C, we're back to an A in the bass. Okay. Okay, now the next line is we come down on an F, or on an F and a C here like this, and then we have a moving line with our index finger, our thumb, index finger, and middle finger. F, G, A, F, G, A. See how we go that bum? So we come down with the pinky and the thumb together both times. Okay, again, here's some context. Here's where we've been. Okay, let me do that again and resist the urge to improvise. This is another problem, guys, you know, but neither myself nor Billy Joel, once you get this under your fingers, you know, you don't play it exactly the same way every time. You tend to make just small adjustments. But me, for the sake of this lesson, play it the same way, because you need to start somewhere. Okay, now we move our hand back to this position where we were at the F and C here. Now what happens is we do a little pickup. It's an F and a D, except we do a little pickup from the C. Like that. And then down to an F and a C. So we were here. Excuse me. Okay. So let's get that far, all the way from the beginning. Just take a look. One more time, all the way through from there. Now it goes C, 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 D, F, C. C, C, D, F, C. Okay, let's get all the way through that. I just want you to see how far we've gone here. And I played something in there wrong. Let's do that. I'm going to do it right now, the way I've taught you. Now we come back down to a C in the left hand, and we are here in this position one more time, where we've been before, and it's these two notes, C and G, to C and A, back to C and G. Okay, so we were here. Let's look at that. We're basically halfway through this entire riff. So we were here. Let me do that one more time. Time, because I don't think the repetition can ever hurt anybody. Okay, one more time and I'll play it a little better than that. Okay, now we go back and play what we've already learned, which is okay, when we get to this part, and what we do, instead of moving on, we are here, we are F, F and D, to F and C, to F and B flat, and then we move down here and we're on C in the left hand, and we form an F chord, and it's what would that be? That would be in the second inversion, C on the bottom, F in the middle, A on top, like so. The next chord is a C chord in its basic inversion, which is C, E in the middle, G on top. And then we're down to an F bass and an F chord in its first inversion, which is A, C, and F, and you play that twice. Ba-bum. So again, so let me play just the second half of that whole line and watch what's going on. One more time. I'm going to play the entire interlude from beginning to end, both halves, and you can take a look. I'm going to do that 2 or 3 times, real slow, then I'll play it once at real speed, okay? Play it again, and I'm going to play it better because, again, like always, I always get caught up doing my little improvisations, and I apologize. As we learned it. One more time at slow motion, then I'll do it in real time. Okay, and when you get that worked out in, you know, at the real speed, then you'll be able to go. I'm actually going to try and play it exactly the way I've taught you at full speed here, because I just get into, it's very, very close. It's just that I don't ever play it the same way twice. My hands kind of move around. I always play the same notes that I've taught you, but I might rearrange them rhythmically ever so slightly. But what I taught you is going to sound right, and then you can start playing around with ornamenting it the way you want. But I believe it's... that's your intro, or your, I guess it's not, like I said, it's not the intro that he uses. He doesn't have an intro in the recording, but when I sit down to play this song, I always play that little interlude first before I get started with the lyrics. So, and I think that's kind of the catchphrase of the entire song. That's what I think most piano players are really wanting to know when they get into this tune, is to be able to sit down and go. So, when I come back for the next section, we're going to go through the chords and some of the voicings that I use, and just kind of work your way through the verses. There really isn't a chorus; it's just 3 long verses. So, we'll get into that in the next section. I'll be with you in just a minute. All right. Now we're going to look at the verses. And there's a simple technique, because if you listen to the recording of this song, what they do is that the verses are split in half. And the first half of the verse, it will just be Billy and the piano, or very, very limited instrumentation. It'll be kind of subtle, you know. In the beginning, there was the chord. Showing you there is that if you're playing this as a piano vocal, you don't have a band to come in and add intensity to the second half of the verse. So I'm going to show you a real simple technique in the left hand that you can use, and the right hand too, I guess, but not really much, mostly in the left hand, that you can use to keep it a little more subtle in the first half of the verse, you know. To ramp it up in the second half of the verse so that you have that change in intensity. Not that different from each other, but they make a big difference in the intensity and how full the sound is. So I'll show you how to do that so that you can kind of create those dynamic shifts that occur in the recording, even though you're playing it as a solo piano player. So let's look at the chords first. We come in on what is called a B flat over a D chord, which means that you're on a D bass. And then you want to be sure that you play a B flat and an F up top, like so. The next chord is a C over an E bass, so you want to play an E in the bottom, and you want to play a G and a C up top, like this. So we were here, now we're here, and then it's just an F chord. And I like to play it right there with my thumb on C, F in the middle finger there, and A up top. It's a second inversion. For those of you who know a lot about chords already. So and it's just 1, 2, you know. It's like if you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, okay? So you have to count the whole thing in that 6/8 feel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's your feel. Okay, now what your right hand is basically doing, other than the few times when it comes in and goes on those eighth notes, which is like, it's essentially playing on the what I would call the downbeats, because you feel 6/8 kind of in a, rather than counting it in 6, it's more like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? So you're going to be playing on 1, 2, 1, 2 most of the time on the right hand, and your left hand is going to go. And here's what you want to be doing with your left hand through this whole thing. You're going to be in octaves. You're going to hit on the downbeat with both hands, or with both fingers, your pinky and your thumb. And then your thumb is going to go dum 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 bum 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 dum 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 dum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 3, 4. Like that. Okay? And together, it's like so. Now, what happens to me sometimes is that my thumb in the right hand, on whatever note in the chord it's playing, will sometimes fall into rhythm right along with that, with my thumb in my left hand, and so you get a little bit of extra, you know. Okay? And even from time to time, I'll end up kind of just playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2 in that thumb, even though I'm holding these down. You do not have to do that. That is just what kind of, I start to feel it, and I am kind of a percussive piano player. You don't have to do that for feel, but you can. If you notice it, I want you to know what I'm doing. But for now, just focus on your left hand going dum 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 bum dum 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 bum dum 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 dum, and focus on your right hand. Okay, and that will get the job done. So we start here. We're on F. Then we go back to our little pickup, which is the B flat over D, C over E, and then this F chord. Now we jump to an F over an A, so you want to play an F and a C up here and an A in the bottom, like so. Then do a B flat chord here, which is D, F, and B flat. Then you quickly hit a D in the bass, So it's bum, bum, and then to a C chord, which is C, E, and G, and a C in the bass. So I'm going to play that whole from the beginning to there so you can see what's happening and kind of get it. I'm going to play it slower, at a slower tempo, but so you can see how the feel is. Okay, one more time. Now in this particular case, you can do this. I went down an octave when I hit that B flat because of the fact that I was going to have to go. And if I'm up here, I start getting into, I either have to go or I have to get bump into my right hand. So you might want to think about doing that. Okay, let me do that one more time. I'm going to show you, I'm going to jump down. Jump down the octave when you go to the A. Okay, so watch my left hand only here. One more time. And together. Let me play it a little less sloppy here. Time. And again. Now we jump to a G minor chord, which is a G in the bass, and it's D, F, and B flat here. And you can voice it anywhere you want. If you know chords and you want to come down here, that's fine. If you want to do it here, if you want to do it here. I have a tendency to voice a chord wherever it makes sense from where my hand was, so I end up here, and it's a G minor 7th, D, F, and G. D, F, and B flat. There we go, with a G bass. Then we play the same chord in the right hand and you move to an F bass. And then it's a B flat chord over a D, so you keep your right hand right where it is. Then to a C over an E, so your E, G, C, and an E chord, an E bass. And then back to your F, which is here. C, F, A. So again, here we were. Okay, so again. Time. Let's go back and look at the entire verse up to that point. Okay? Time from the beginning there. Okay, even slower I'll go. One more time. Okay, now we're moving to kind of a goofy chord. It is it's a C minor sixth over an E flat, which means you go to an E flat bass and you want to play E flat, G, A. Very, very important that you get an A in there. You could just play a C minor, but it does not have the same effect if you don't put that grace note in here, that sixth, that A. Same rhythmic pattern. Then it goes to a D dominant seventh, which is here, with D bass, and then you want to play like an F sharp, A, and C up here. And if you want to, you can come down on a D as well with your thumb. Okay, D, F sharp, bass, then back to a G minor seventh. Okay, so here's where we were. We were here. So, boom. Let me slow that down a bit here. Okay. Now we're moving to a diminished seventh chord. So we move up to an A flat in the bass, and you play D, F, A flat, and B natural. And from there we move to an F major chord over an A bass. And then you go to an F augmented chord, which is F, A, and C sharp. So you're here, then to a B flat chord, which is here, F, B flat, and D over a B flat bass, then back down to a G minor 7th, which is a G bass. Same thing in the right hand, F, B flat, D. And then we play a C suspended. I do a C sus 2 and 4, like this. So you have a C, you have a G, an F, and a D. 1, 2, 3, and then you're back to. Okay, so let's look at that from this weird minor 6th chord all the way through. I'm going to play it really slow from that point to the end. Let me do that one more time. One more time from that point, then I'm going to play the entire first half of the verse from the very beginning all the way through a few times so that you can see where it's headed. Whoops. Okay, now let me go back through. I'm going to play the entire, what we've done so far a couple of times, a little bit slow so you can watch it. Let me do that one more time, or maybe even a couple more times, slow like that. Okay, one more time all the way from that point to that point, and then I'll show you how to change up your left hand a little bit on basically the same thing we just played, and to add a little intensity. So that is the first half of the verse. The second half is largely repetitive. There's a little change toward the end, which we'll get to. But the main difference is that now, instead of hammering both notes with your left hand and then just using your thumb for pace with the... that, you're going to do the same thing that you've been doing with your thumb, only with both your thumb and your pinky. So it'll be... And what that will do, as you can see, is it'll really open up the sound and give you a lot more pace. So as you can see, that just kind of changes the feel of the whole thing. So that's your main difference. I'm gonna show you what the chords are. We're gonna see a lot of familiarity here. We're coming back to bum 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 bum, exactly as we were on this F chord, only now you're doing your full throttle left hand. Still F, B flat, and to C, just like we had before. Same thing here that we've done. Same thing here. Same thing here. Same thing here. Same thing here. And here. Same thing here. Now, when he gets ready to say, why can't we learn from all we've been through? Okay, now we're here. So we're at an F over an A, just like we did before. Then we go to the F augmented, just like we did before. From now, we move to a D minor 7th chord, okay, which is F, A, and C, like an F major chord in the right hand, with a D in the bass. Bum. And then move to an F dominant 7th chord, which I usually play right here with an E flat, an A, and a C up here, and an F in the bass. And then a B flat major chord, which I play here, D, F, and B flat. And then I play a B flat major chord over a C bass. After 2, and then quickly resolve it to a C dominant 7th down here, which I play like a B flat, E, and G. 1,000 years. Okay, so let me play just from this weird part where we go. This is in the second verse. I'm going to play it soft, or I'm going to play it slowly. Watch where we go. don't have to resolve it either. You could just hit this after 2,000 years. You know, it can just ring. 2,000. So you don't even have to play the D, the C down here if you want to. You can do this. Or you can just let it ring. 1,000 years, and then you'll be ready for... Oops. Okay, so again, I'm going to play this slow from this goofy C minor 6 chord over an E flat in the second verse. Excuse me. Okay, one more time from just that spot. We already learned. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play just the second half of the verse from the very beginning of it all the way to the end so that you can see, and I'm going to do my full pounding left hand bass. Okay? Okay, one more time, that whole phrase. Okay? Now, that just about teaches you the whole song. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a full verse, and then I'm going to do the little instrumental interlude. I'm going to do the whole thing relatively slow so you can watch and get a flow for how it all feels. And I'm going to change the intensity with my left hand like we talked about. So here's the beginning of a verse. play that particularly slow. So this time I really am going to slow the entire thing down, play one verse all the way through, and then I'm going to take you through a way to kind of do the final ending, and then you've learned everything you need to know about this. So here's one full verse and the little thing all the way through at kind of a slower speed. Through just about all of it without making a mistake, but I clinked it at the end. But anyway, that gives you an example. So what do we do at the very, very end of the song? We've gone. Okay? So here's what's going on as they're kind of going along. So here's what I like to do. Just keep going with your little rhythm in your left hand where you hammer it, boom, and then use your thumb, bum, the bum, 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 bum. So you were here. Play an E flat chord, which is G, B flat, E flat, over an F bass, E flat. Go to a B flat chord, which is F, B flat, and D, and then move down to an F chord, which is F, A, and C. Then do the same thing, but come to a C bass for a second. On E flat, B flat, and then back to F, and that's it. So you're coming along. Okay, that's just how I do. I kind of vamp on that as long as I feel like it. Just bum 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 bum, bum folks, congratulations. All you need to do is print yourself out a lyric sheet, and you've got it. That is 2,000 Years by Billy Joel. So just one more time, just because I love playing it. Well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy playing the song. It's a beautiful and amazing song, and I'm thrilled to have it as part of my catalog of tutorials. And, you know, it makes me really sad that Billy doesn't seem to feel in the mood to write this kind of music anymore, but I'm sure glad that he did while he felt like it, because boy did he leave us with a great legacy of songs. So anyway, visit my website, leave me some feedback, let me know what worked, what didn't work, and tell me which songs you want to have recorded next. I always kind of base this on requests, and also check my website. If the tune that you really want is not up yet, there is a special order option, which is actually how this one got filmed in the first place. This one and Ballad of Billy the Kid got moved to the front of the line based on special orders. And so if there's one that you absolutely want at all costs and you don't want to wait as long as a year or something for me to get around to doing it because it might not have as high a demand, there is an option. You can have it done. It's a little bit more expensive, but not out of this world. So check my website for that. And other than that, happy playing, and remember, if you're not having fun when you're making music, you're doing it wrong. Piano Man Steve, signing out. You know, I always screw that up when I play it in F. Let me try that one more time. Much better. Have a good time, or a good day, excuse me. Have a good day, gang. Take care, and thanks so much for your business.